Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another episode of the show. Today's features returning guest and fellow podcaster Garrett Rongey. Had a lot of fun catching up with Garrett, talking about his brand new record he's been working on called Franklin's Place that you can now find streaming wherever you get your digital music at. And you're going to get a little sneak peek at it today. I do want to remind you that Rock Paper Podcast is always brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler, located right here in St. Louis, over in the Maplewood area. Stop by and visit them at the shop or shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off your purchase. Including all your favorite beard oils, beard balms, your junk powder, or any of their other wonderful grooming products over there. You know, during the hot summer months, it may be tempting to shave, but did you know that having a beard can keep you cooler in the summer heat? Beards provide protection from UV rays and keep sweat off your face to keep you cooler longer in the hottest heat. Just make sure to keep your beard clean with Roughneck's house-made beard bar. All natural soap with milled oats and African black soap. Cleanses amazingly without stripping away your natural oils. And if you do decide to shave it off, do it with American Rambler's amazing pre-shave oils and Miracle Tonic aftershave. Either way, they've got you covered. Again, shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. And don't forget that code RPP15 at checkout. Also, super excited to have a brand new show sponsor for you all, and that is Keith Brake Photography and KBP Studios. Keith has been working hard around the St. Louis area, shooting photography for a long time, doing a lot of live music stuff. Now he's opened up a brand new studio over in DeCoin, Illinois, so you can come by and visit the studio, and of course that includes portraits, theme sessions, and promo sets. So if you or the band or whatever you need for any photography needs, check out KeithBrakePhotography.com. Right now, Keith is offering a great deal, offering 10% off all sessions during this promo period if you mention Rock Paper Podcast. You may have seen some of the wonderful work he's been doing with Steve Ewing of The Urge, Learn from K-She, or my buddy ATG from Discrepancies. So if you haven't checked those out, of course, you can find all of those pictures and more on Keith's Facebook and Instagram, or again, KeithBrakePhotography.com. So yeah, check it out. All your photography needs, KeithBrakePhotography.com. Also, big thanks to everybody that's been continuing to buy merch. I appreciate your support. If you don't have a little Shaney shirt and you want one, you can visit buyjack.com/rockpaperpodcast today and take home a brand new little Shaney shirt or a logo shirt or a tank top or a hat, all kinds of good stuff up there in multiple colors and sizes. And so check out the merch store today. Also, it's show week, everybody. We have a big show, singer-songwriter storytelling showcase, returning August 21st at the Focal Point in Maplewood, Missouri. Bringing along Andy Sido from Denver, Colorado, Anthony J. Russo, Nick Gusman, and Karen Choi. So come on out to that show. It is outdoor. It's BYOB, so bring your cooler, bring your lawn chair, come on out and sit with us outside. So we were going to do it inside, but with the protocols changed, everything's kind of shifted outdoors. So we're going to try that, and hopefully it turns out to be a real nice Saturday night with us. So grab some tickets at thefocalpoint.org and come out and have a good time. With all that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with my buddy, Garrett Rongey.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey everybody, this is Garrett Rongey, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot, could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out with returning guest Garrett Rongey. Welcome back to the show, bud.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for welcoming back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think your first appearance was back in December of 2020. We did it. We hung out, and right before Christmas time and stuff, we did a little.
I played a little Christmas song.
Yeah, a little chestnuts, right?
Yeah, something like that. I can't even remember what I played.
I think it was well, I think it has a different name. I think that's what
the Christmas song.
the Christmas song. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I played. Yeah,
but but anyway, man, yeah, it was. It's just kind of crazy. I think it's already been
7 months?
6-7 months now since we hung out, and
yeah.
on the show wise, but we were just hanging out the other day at a Nick Gusman show.
Yeah.
Nick Gusman, the Coyotes, celebrating 104 years of Das Bevo the other night.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. That was a fun night.
It was a pretty wild one because I mean, I played bass again with Nick for like the first time in like a year and a half, and then we had a fill-in drummer as well. So it was a pretty wild. We had a gig before that too. It was just hot and rainy, and
All right.
there's all sorts of craziness happening. But yeah, it was fun doing that.
That's
fun doing that show.
That's rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was so. I don't know. It was just a weird night. It was funny to me because like I walked in the door and it actually happened to be my birthday, and I was out. I went to dinner with my wife and my mother-in-law at Broadway Oyster Bar, and then I made my way down to Das Bevo and walk in the door, and within like a minute or something being there, the band started playing "Happy Birthday" to Das Bevo, singing. And so it was just a weird kind of a occurrence there that it happened to my birthday also.
Yeah.
And then but then when they had us come up, and they were like they invited some people up to do a beer stein challenge, holding a beer stein for who can hold it the longest. And I was like, I got in, and I was like, well, worst case I get a free beer out of it. And
Yeah.
so and it quickly realized like, oh, this is going to be a while. And so I'm just like, oh, oops. And then I started drinking my beer, and then I was just like, I'm out of here. I don't feel like.
Yeah. I kept on, Sean, because I did that with you, and Sean kept on saying, you're cheating. And I wasn't cheating. It's just the way my arm looks. Like you can, I mean, nobody can see right now if they're listening to this. But the way my arm looks, if you're looking at it this way, if I hold it out straight, it looks like it's bent. But it's not. It's just like the way my arm's built.
Right.
And how I was holding it just made it look like it was bending. I had my arm bent a little bit. So then I had to like pull my sleeve up just to show Sean that I wasn't cheating.
It's all man, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever done a beer stein challenge thing like that. But
me too.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I wasn't interested in winning. I feel like I won anyway. I still got the free beer, so it's like, that was the prize.
There was one guy that was taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
The guy that was standing right next to Sean. In the back of my mind, I kept on thinking, this guy probably comes here every year.
Right.
And it's like tells his family how he's like the undefeated champion.
I've been training for this my entire life.
Yeah. He goes, I haven't lost since I was 20. He probably just tells him, well, at his age, I guess probably like 18. I think that was the drinking age.
All right.
When he was probably 18. So, he's probably got a couple years of just like, I got to go back. They need me.
Right.
They need me to win it again.
The champ is here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun night though, man.
Yeah,
it was just a lot of good times, and it was fun to hear you guys do some different stuff, some covers and things,
yeah.
and kind of stretching out the set there and getting to do some different songs that I don't always get to hear you do. So
Yeah. It's always fun to kind of just call them out and see what happens.
Right. Yeah. Big shout out to Nick Gusman and the Coyotes. You can catch them playing around town. It's a fantastic group, and you guys are working on a brand new record due out here very soon. I think Nick posted the singles releasing on the 16th of July, so
something like that. Yeah.
So you get a little teaser, but we got the whole thing coming real soon. So
yeah,
keep an eye out for that.
It's a year in the making. Maybe like a year and a half in the making. Yeah, I guess probably a year and a half now. Pandemic kind of stretched it out a little bit when we were first started doing it, But I'm really proud of it. I think everybody should be pretty proud of it that was in the band. Everybody did a great job. Nigel plays guitar on it too. He's just killing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of split up between the both of us. He plays guitar on like half of it. I play guitar on the other half, and then I play bass on part of it too. Pookie, Justin Hatmar, he does a killing job. Everybody, Ed and Sean and Tony and Nick, Nick, wrote all the songs. So
right.
he's responsible for all of it, really. But yeah, no, it's something I'm really proud of, and I'm really glad it's coming out soon, and it's hopefully coming out right before we go, and we're going to go on a little tour of Europe too.
Oh, very
which I'm not going to steal Nick's thunder because I know you are talking to him, so I'll let him get into the details about that. I don't want to speak for Nick, take up Nick's podcast. Like, oh, actually, Garrett already talked about it, and he's just like, damn it, Garrett.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good hang, man. He's one of my favorite people around town. He's just a great guy.
Yeah.
But along with record recording and new records and everything, that's why we're here today, because we have a brand new Garrett Rongey album, and this is the debut, right?
Yeah. This is the first one. Yeah, it's the first solo record.
Yeah, man.
All instrumental stuff. Some of it's a little bit more jazz influence. Some of it has a little bit of a twang to it. And it took me 3 years to really get all the songs together. I wrote everything on piano before I learned it on guitar, and that's how I wrote. I wrote probably like 20 or 30 songs for the record, and then I just sifted through those and picked what I wanted, and then edited those like 10 times, probably more than that for some of them. Actually, the title track, Franklin's Place, the bridge part to that was the part of the reason I called it Franklin's Place is one day our little cat Franklin jumped on our piano, and he stepped on some notes on the piano, and it was like when I was trying to figure out how to write this, rewrite this part, and he just happened to just like step on like this chord. So like the first couple notes of this section are just from Franklin accidentally stepping on the piano. And it was like, oh, those notes sound cool together. Let's see if I can use that.
Yeah.
And then that's what became that part. So it's just like, well, now it's Franklin's song.
Did he get co-write on that?
Yeah, no. I haven't told him yet. He's heard it, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figure I'll break it to him later.
Right.
But, it's not like a Macaulay Culkin kind of deal or anything like that. Like, I mean, he still gets his cat food.
Sure.
And treats and all that. And, you know, it's, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Maybe the next record.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's onto something. Maybe he's got a couple more records in him. So.
Yeah. Franklin's Place 2.
All right.
In New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, so Franklin's Place now available wherever you're getting your digital music at. So stream it wherever, add it to your favorite playlist, and give it a spin. But this the title track, I didn't. It's cool to hear that story, but I really enjoyed this song, and it's just especially I was kind of telling you off mic before we click record, but there throughout the record there's a lot of saxophone, and there's some keys there. There's a lot of different instruments on that, but like this I felt was cool because it kind of gets to hear a lot more you and guitar playing and stuff in the song, and so that's the one thing I really liked about it. And
I appreciate that, and for me the whole point of the concept of this record for me was just to play melodies and not get too crazy on just like the playing aspect of it. I feel like sometimes I've heard records that are great records guitar players make, but it's like Chop City, and I wanted to try to veer away from that as much as possible and just try to make some really pretty sounding melodies on guitar and kind of go that route for this. And then, later on, maybe I'll do a Chop City record. Maybe I'll call it Chop City.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, I mean, for me, the saxophone was a big part. That's Jason Swagler. He plays alto on most of it. He plays soprano saxophone on a couple tunes. And I pretty much wrote those tunes thinking of having saxophone playing the melody. And maybe, I mean, if you listen to a couple of them, you can definitely hear guitar doubles up sometimes on the melody. But for me, I just wanted it to not be, I didn't want the record to be about me. I wanted it to be a group effort. I wanted it to be like a whole sound and not just, I'm playing guitar over my songs that I wrote. I wanted it to kind of be something that, everybody puts their input into and see what happens. And, luckily, I got Jason Swagler did it, and Zeb, which Zeb Briskovich, Miles Van Devere, Darren Pops Jackson played on it. And all just like people that I learned from when I was younger and still learn from. And I was just I was fortunate to get them. I've told some people it's like I called in all my favors to get those people to play, and I was really lucky to have that happen, and it meant a lot to me that they did it. So I think that kind of comes through. I mean, I think they sound way better than I do on the record.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man, it's definitely an all-star cast there.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you said you're like writing this. So did you, like compose most of this and then like kind of have their parts, or you said you wanted them to have their input on it too, like, or did you this is a part where I hear more, drum solo, sax solos, or whatever?
It kind of, in a way, like, basically what I did is I wrote out the main melody to the song, and the chord changes, and then after that you just play over the chord changes, improvise, and then on top of that, when I was getting closer to it, I made kind of like drum beats, and then I just kind of showed them what I wanted, either through like a reference recording of a certain drum beat that I wanted, that kind of vibe, or like an actual like drum loop that I had on my phone. That's like, this is what I'm looking for, and I kind of did it that way. As far as like their input is all their own input. I mean, I just kind of gave them references to everything. But as far as the melody and the chords are concerned, those are definitely the parts that I wrote, and then everything else is theirs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. That's that's kind of how I like to approach things. Like, I don't make music, but if I ever ask a favor from somebody that is very talented. I'd rather just do what you do, like that's why I've asked you to do this thing. I don't need to tell you how to play your part or whatever it is. So, so I am fortunate enough to be surrounded by a bunch of talented people, and I like to just let them shine and stuff, do what they do best.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, really. I mean, I think just, and I kind of took some of that from seeing what Nick does, because Nick has a bunch of different people play on his records. And when he wants a certain sound, he gets a certain person to play that sound because he knows, that's what they do.
Right.
And I've always really respected that. I've always, in a way, I would say he's one of the people that really got me to finish this record, just playing with him and seeing the amount of work ethic that he has and putting something together really helped me out, really showed me it's possible for one.
Right.
And so I'd say I thank him for that.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah. This I wanted to share another song from this collection, and this is a song called June Blossom. So when I was driving over here, I clicked. I was listening to the record. I clicked play on June Blossom, and I don't know. Sometimes I like to just kind of let my mind go and while I'm listening, especially something like this as an instrumental. You know, when you're listening to lyric based stuff, you hear more of the you know, stories or and things like that, paying attention to what the lyrics are sometimes for me. But for this particularly, I just started letting my mind wander and where it would take me. And like, I just feel like June Blossom would be like a cool, like movie trailer type of soundtrack to it or something like that. Like just like a traveling, you know, highway kind of like some kind of montage scene or something like that, is like people traveling around the country and stuff. Like, it just kind of feels like it would fit right in that vein. And that even like I don't know if it's but even something along with the drum patterns and stuff. Like, it just kind of felt like the rhythm of the highway type of like you know, kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying, like tires like thumping and stuff. And so I don't know if that had anything to do with what you were writing about, but it just feels like it could work that way.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, there's another song on there that I'm going to make a little music video for. It's called Loretta. That is going to be like pretty much a shot of going down the highway. But that one, I could definitely see that one too. You know, like being that way. I wrote that one for my wife, Maggie.
Nice.
Pretty much after our first date, we went and saw like the Wood Brothers play.
Oh, very cool.
And the next day, I was just like, oh, I met this. You know, I had already known Maggie for a while, but I just started writing this tune, and in a way, I kind of made it in the vein with some of the changes in the vein of like a Wood Brothers kind of chord changes in parts. I mean, it definitely doesn't sound like a Wood Brothers tune to me, at least, but I had some of those elements in there I threw in there. And it just, like, to me, that's what it kind of sounded. It sounded like, but the weird thing about that one is I had maybe 4 different versions of it before we actually did that one. I originally just was going to do it as a solo song. And the first time I recorded it was with Jeremy Reedy at his little studio before he got the van, you know. And then after that, I did another version with my buddy Zach, which was a duo. It was upright bass and guitar. And we kind of played through it that way, and then it kind of developed into, well, I'm just going to play the melody. I want you to just play these kind of bass parts, some fills and stuff in it, just to fill it out. And then when I got with Zeb and we played through it, and I kind of told him, I think I want to do this as a duo, he started playing it, and it just like opened up a whole new thing. Like, you could put drums on this. And that's the only song on the whole record, I think, or well, besides Franklin's Place, that has overdubs on it.
Okay.
So like there's another guitar part. There's actually a couple guitars playing in it. So it kind of developed from this thing that was just going to be a solo acoustic guitar piece into a full band thing.
Yeah.
And I really, I'm really glad I'm really happy with how it turned out, you know. Mm-hmm. And Zeb and Zach Clark and those guys have a lot to do with that kind of development, you know.
Sure.
They were definitely there while I was still trying to figure it out. And it was, you know, it was just one of those things. It's kind of neat sometimes when you write something and you have one idea of it, and then it just kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, it blossoms.
Sure.
Into
that's what you did there.
Yeah. It blossoms into something completely different that you didn't think, you know, it'd turn out that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun of collaboration and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Inviting these guys in, and because you know, you yourself, you probably could have played a bass part for it, but
Mm-hmm.
it may never have been what it is today without the help of those guys. So it's like you bring them in, and it totally maybe this idea, whatever, and it becomes it finally finds its place where it's, you know. So
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Zeb is definitely, a lot better bass player than I am too. So he made it sound 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that one is there was a really loud motorcycle that passed by the studio that day at the very end of that song when Zeb was playing like a little note at the end. And I don't know if it's I have to listen to it on streaming or something to hear it, to see if it's in there or not. But you can, if you really know, it's probably just because I know where it happened, but I can just hear when it happens, I can hear that motorcycle just kind of go, and it's a cool sound effect. You know, I thought at first, Ryan's, I'll get that out. It's like, maybe we should just keep that in there. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I love that kind of stuff too. Like, me personally, I do a lot of field recording type of situations where, and I remember I just did one not too long ago with River Kittens, and we were doing a little jamming in the living room type of thing. And then they lived, we were recording off of Cherokee and, in that area. And I think it was Jefferson, but they, somebody, it was a busy intersection there and all that stuff. And there's somebody, same kind of thing, motorcycle drove by at the end of it, and you hear like it just like just like I don't know, it sounded cool, and like I just of course left it all in there, but it's just the beauty of just live recording and stuff. You never know what's going to happen in there, but
plus they're great musicians and singers.
But it's just like great timing though, like also. Like I think about like moments in like rock and roll history, like some of those stories that I've heard of, like weird things that have happened, and they just still made the record and they just left it all in there because it was gave the track a little character, gave it it very organic about it. I talked about a while back with that with Roxanne from Police, that Sting like sets on the keys and starts laughing and stuff. Like they just left it all in there. Like it was like bumped into the keys while they're recording, and so it's just like stuff like that. I think is it's just fun. That
for sure.
Like just leave that in there. That's perfect.
Yeah, sometimes those happy accidents.
Right.
There's actually, I saw a TikTok of all people. I know that we don't speak his name, but Matt F. Bassler, Ryan Wasaba do a TikTok of what's one of those happy accidents in the studio that's happened to you and you end up keeping. And he's got his Brantley Gilbert album, and he's like, well, I fought this dude, and then we took it outside of my truck. So now I after watching that yesterday, it's been stuck in my head. That dude is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that you guys have a feud and all that, but
you got yourself right in the middle of it, man. Like, you went across the line, and you went and appeared on Matt's show, and now you're back.
Yeah, back to the light side of the force, the good side. Right. Yeah.
We had to work some things out, but I agreed to let you back on the show after that. And
this is one time,
right?
This one time, I swear.
But, that was a fun episode, though. It was cool to hear you guys talking, and
I had a lot of fun doing that one.
Yeah. And then I guess anybody that's following along with your podcast will be able to hear his appearance on your show here soon, right?
Yeah. I'm sure that you're talking to him too.
Yeah.
Because the EP that came out.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh yeah.
I love it. It's so hilarious and it's good too. It's like, it's not just the fact that it's funny, but it actually sounds great.
Right.
Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I got one or two that I might put out first. I don't know yet. I'm still deciding. I got one with pretty much the most requested person on my podcast. Like a good majority of the people I've interviewed have talked about him, Darren Gray. I ended up getting in contact with him, and he ended up doing the podcast.
All right.
So I got that. I still got to get that one out, so I might put that one out before. But yeah, his will be coming out soon, and hopefully I didn't put my foot in my mouth. I've noticed that with my podcast. Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say, just out of context too, because I like to take kind of breaks in between and
Right.
and just talk for a little while, and then I turn it back on, and then I just kind of oh, well, we're talking now or whatever, kind of get the business out of the way in the beginning, and then see what happens after that. And sometimes I know there's been a few where it's kind of got me in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But it happens. I don't have to. I'm not running for mayor right now, so
Yeah.
I'll tighten that up here probably in the next year or so. Which I do want to be the first one to announce. I will be running for mayor of Edwardsville City in Illinois. Hopefully the next year or so.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me know. I'll be sure to get some posters and everything. Be part of the campaign.
Well, they ran me out last time I ran for mayor. I don't know if you've seen any of the old. I had some memories come up on the old Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's that time I tried to run for mayor. And then they ran me out of town. So, now that I am a tax-paying citizen of that great city again, I'm going to put in my bid, do my service,
All right.
see where it leads me. But we'll see. There's a lot of taxpayers out there that are really rooting for me, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot that aren't, but
Has that always been a goal to have a?
yeah, I've always wanted to be a mayor or sheriff of a town. Not all joking aside, I have always wanted to be a mayor or a sheriff of a town. Now, if a town would actually let me be a mayor or a sheriff, that's a whole different, discussion. But yeah, it's always been a little bit of a dream of mine. That and living out in the middle of nowhere,
All right.
which, I say that now I kind of sound like Ted Kaczynski, but I've always, mayor or sheriff, and hopefully one day they do let me into City Hall there or somewhere else. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't really have any goal of holding an office position like that at all, but I do have some people that call me the mayor of St. Louis music. So
I would say that.
So
I would say that's very accurate.
I've been appointed to position. But I'm happy to wear that hat. If that's what the people want. But
sometimes you got to kiss some moms and shake some babies' hands.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just what you got to do.
I think that's how that saying goes.
Yeah. That's one of the ones that got me in trouble last time.
Oops.
I was running for mayor. Apparently that's not how you say it. I'm pretty sure they're wrong.
Yeah.
But
yeah. You speaking of the podcast though, I was like, it was cool to see you linked up with some friends of mine, D&M Paranormal.
Oh, they're great.
That was a fun one for sure. It's fun to also for just as a fan of your show and that you've kind of
I appreciate that you listened to it.
Yeah, man. But you found a nice balance between the music and the paranormal, and sometimes they're both. I know of stuff with Dana. Dana Michael Anderson. You've talked about both, and with Jacob Baxter, you've talked about both music and paranormal stuff. So it does seem like a lot of these guys that are fantastic musicians also have some interesting stories that have maybe happened to them in their life. So, but it's anyway, I enjoy the variety of content that is coming out of Garrett talks to himself and sometimes other people.
Yeah. Which I really appreciate that. and I will say this more times than not, when I have a guest on, the first thing I say is like, okay, well, maybe we'll talk about, what you got, what do you have coming out, stuff like that. And I'm like, can we just talk about ghosts?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, we'll try to put that in there. I haven't had a paranormal episode in a while. I have some stuff that's been in the works. Me and Maggie are going to go on a ghost hunt and kind of broadcast the ghost hunt. I have some more Garrett Talks to Himself that I haven't put out just yet. I haven't decided if I'm ready to put them out or not. Mm-hmm. But just some more stories of my life, my childhood, and just like everything going on that's happened around me. Right. But I'm hoping that we can get a little bit more into some more folklore of Southern Illinois and in St. Louis, Metro East, get a little bit more of that. I think people, when I say people, my mom, she's probably the only one that really listens, really enjoy that. But yeah, I'm excited for what's to come, and now that I've kind of gotten the record out of the way, I can kind of get back to doing the podcast thing, and to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do it if you didn't help me out. So thank you for that.
Oh man, yeah. I'm just it's always cool to me when that I could be any part of that. Like I again, I got a Laren Lovelace. You know him at all?
That sounds familiar.
He's a great musician and vocalist, and he does a lot of teaching and stuff. But he played. I met him through Sean Cannon's Voodoo Players, but
okay.
He does. He plays the role of Jake in the Blues Brothers show they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which always makes me laugh because Phil Wright plays the role of Elwood because he's the harmonica player. Mm-hmm. Yet though physically they look the opposite. So it's just kind of funny to me. Like Laren's more tall and skinny and looks like he would be an Elwood.
Yeah.
And Phil looks like he would be Jake, but it's the other way around. But
yeah,
it's just, they do a great job with that show. But anyway, Laren just hit me up the other day, and he's looking to start his own show and was looking for advice and tips to get started and all this stuff. So awesome. I just think it's cool that that people think of me to be somebody they can look to get some advice and stuff. So I'm happy to share whatever information I have, and maybe. But that's the fun of it too. Is like I kind of gave you maybe that push to get started, but then you do your own thing, man. It's just fun to see where you take it and what it becomes, and when you start finding what works and what doesn't for you and stuff. So
yeah, for sure. And I would say because I listen to your podcast quite a bit too, and it's there's definitely a difference between both of ours. Mine's pretty much just shooting from the hip, where yours is a little bit more concise and a little bit more well thought out. Where I'm just like, let's go for it. Let's see what happens.
Honestly though, like I don't. Maybe it comes off that way. I don't really. Like I do, I have an idea. Like the whole time I'm driving down here, I'm thinking about what are we gonna talk about and stuff today, and maybe if we had the record to plug and that kind of stuff. So, but like I don't really like to do much prep because I like to see what happens. Just the same thing, like you're saying, like press record and see where it goes and what kind of magic we can find there. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, how many do you have now? It's got to be. Feels like it's in the thousands.
Yeah. Well, we as we're recording, last one that went out was 918. So
so you're about to 100, right?
Yeah.
Or into 1,000.
Almost 1,000. Yeah. We actually just my buddy Matt hit me up the other day. He's like, "What are you gonna do for 1,000?" And I was like, I haven't really thought much about it, but I would like to kind of do something big, like some kind of party. You should definitely do that. You've done so many that I think that's another part of it is, I haven't even cracked 30 yet. Right. So
You know, I'm getting close,
All right.
so you better watch out.
Yeah,
but,
man.
but I think, you know, I think that you've done it for so long and you've had so many and you're so, you know, like I look at what you do with the podcast is like, you know, maybe like what I do with playing music and then how I approach, you know, it's like you just have to do it. It's like you tell us your passion, like that's what you're trying to get out there and you do it well and it's you could see the growth from listening to something like sometimes you re-release a episode from a little further back.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy hearing that compared to now.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, sound quality or the way you interview somebody or, you know,
Sure.
is definitely a progression.
Yeah.
You know.
I recently went back and listened to some of the old stuff. And I'm like, for me particularly, you know, like I was like a very just kind of cringed listening to it. I'm just like, man, what? Yeah, that's not like I feel a lot more confident in my abilities today than I did, of course, when we started. Just like anything, you know, it's like anybody gets better at it, and of course, production value and you know having better equipment now and stuff. So all of it is you know, but that's just natural growth. Anybody that does anything for 7 years, you're going to get better at it, of course. So but.
For sure. I'm sure you got your 10,000 hours in at least now. So.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's fun. I guess, I mean, I talk about it a lot, but like, I enjoy it. And just like you're hearing some of your stories already, like it's just the hangs is the best part. Just getting to be with your friends, talking about things you like to talk about. And it's just, it's cool that other people are enjoying it as well. So getting to share it with people. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
Is there a particular favorite paranormal story that's come out that you really enjoy that, or maybe spooked you a little bit, or anything?
I guess the one that sticks out that I tell people the most, I have to say it's from, you know, talking to you know the D&M, the paranormal team, and it was just a wild story about they went to this house. I think it was like, I'm never going to be able to say the name. I always screw up the name of this house, but like the Valais axe murder house or something.
Right.
They went there and, you know, some stuff was kind of happening, but this lady ended up getting like possessed and they had to have like an exorcism. Like outside of her, she had to get an exorcism outside the house, and you know it was like this whole thing. And you know, he goes back inside, trying to get everything packed up. He's like, "We're out of here," and he gets to the car, and all the car doors were like open. They all shut, and it locks, and the engine starts. You know, the keys aren't even in there. The engine starts, and then he just yells at it. He's like, you know, he goes, I won't curse on your podcast, but there's a lot of cursing on mine, unfortunately. But he's, you know, you MFer. Like, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking this anymore.
Right.
And then the car turned off, and doors unlocked, and that was it. So. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty spooky story. Yeah, man. Know?
And Dane's great at telling those stories too. Like it's
he is. He's got such a cool way of talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on again sometime soon.
Yeah.
I definitely I try to get in touch. You actually, you know, thank you for getting me in touch with them, but also I try to get in touch with that. He does the Lost Boys of Hannibal.
Yeah, Frankie and Jeremy.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to talk to them sometime too. Yeah. I love that podcast. That Lost Boys podcast is great.
Yeah, those guys are a trip, man. They make me laugh, and they're just they're good guys for sure. I've known them. Jeremy, we used to work together years ago, and so so it was just. But we go way back, and then I met Frankie through him, and we've had a lot of good times together and stuff over the years. So yeah, but yeah, Jennifer. Talking about D&M Paranormal, like Jennifer,
she's
is really
super
cool
nice
too,
person.
and she's got some she talked about some of her abilities and stuff, and it was we did like a live reading thing, and just over Zoom, and I was like, I didn't know what to really expect or what to. I kind of just went in open-minded to it and to listen to what she had to say and stuff. Didn't really want to, but it was interesting some of the things that she could see or feel and stuff. So it was it was a pretty wild experience, even just over Zoom. Like I would like to sit and actually talk to her in the same room and stuff. So
she had a great way of explaining how it's shops open, shops closed.
Right.
She's not reading people all the time.
Sure.
And when she came over, they weren't going to read us at all. It wasn't going to be that type of thing. We were just going to talk to them, which I'm totally cool with, and I'm glad that we did it that way because we got to know them, and it wasn't just like full throttle from the start. But the weird thing was a week before they came over, Maggie was down south. I think she went to a show with her parents or somewhere. She was gone for the weekend. And I had gotten my second shot, the second vaccine or whatever. And I had my buddy came over to get some sound equipment that I borrowed from him. And we ended up eating dinner and stuff, and we had a couple drinks, and he's like, I think I had a couple too many drinks. I was like, well, the couch is right there. You sleep on the couch. He goes, okay. And I was like, I'm not feeling good. Like, that shot just took me out. I got to go lay down. So I'm going to lay down. I'm dozing off. And then all of a sudden I hear him scream. And Chris doesn't usually scream, or he's not super loud person. He's pretty relaxed. And I jump up and I was like, what's going on? Oh, Nigel was staying with us too that weekend. He came down to do some Les Gruff stuff.
All right. And
he stayed in our spare bedroom. He wasn't there though. He was at a Les Gruff gig. So I run out. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? He goes, that was you, right? That was you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, I heard the back door open. And then I heard footsteps, and then I felt somebody breathe into my ear and say, hey. And then that's when I screamed, because I thought it was you. I was like, I was dozing off in there. Like, I definitely wouldn't have done that to you. That's really weird. And he was freaked out, so I went back to bed, and I think he might have stayed up for the rest of the night. Waited until Nigel came back. And the other thing was, I think Nigel came back within 15 minutes or whatever after that happened. So Nigel was in he was like, what's going on, guys? Oh, just this weird thing happened. Mm-hmm. But then the next week they came over and they did the thing. And the entire week, me and Maggie, I told Maggie about it. I was like, maybe I should ask him, is their house haunted? Because there's weird noises and stuff, but it's also an old house. It was built back in the 40s,
right?
Early or late 30s, something like that. So there's creaks, there's draftiness. The windows need to be replaced, so it could have been that too. I just can't explain the hay part of it. So,
right. Yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know. I don't know that I think kind of like you guys, I don't know how much I'm a believer, but it's also very interesting to think about. Though, like, it's just I enjoy.
I want to believe.
I enjoy the stories and everything. I enjoy all of it around it, like in the TV shows and movies and whatever. It's just like there's definitely things that are unexplainable, I think, but so it's just but yeah, some strange occurrences for sure, man.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to our basic, primal sense of, I think we still need to be scared because it sets off something in our body. It's like, oh, we still have that reaction. We're still on top of things, Yeah. Like that's how I feel about it, at least. It kind of goes back to like probably, caveman times. They had to be on top of it because you didn't know it was around the corner.
Right.
You living in a cave or something, you got to be on top of it. You hear something or somebody else's like lunch or something. So I don't know. I think that kind of speaks for it, but it's weird how it is also a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Being scared.
Sure.
Nobody really wants to be scared, but they still get scared. Yeah. They scare themselves.
I didn't get to finish it yet. We were having some connection issues, but I tried watching the new blanking on the title of the movie now, but
was it like a scary movie?
Yeah, it was on it's the third one now.
Is it Conjuring or something?
Yeah, Conjuring 3. Yeah, and there's The Devil Made Me Do It or whatever. I think this is the full title of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And
that's a crazy story too. That's a true story.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, they tried to basically prove that this guy was possessed and killed this person or these people. Can't remember if it was one person or if it was multiple. But that was a crazy legal case.
Yeah. Well, everything so far, those are all like true events that in those movies that at least are based off of, obviously played up for the movies and things, I think, but I think based off of at least a true event. So
and to be honest, that first one, even though I haven't watched it, I've heard some stuff on it, and I know quite a bit about Ed and Lorraine Warren, because they're pretty much the godfather of the paranormal investigation community. I mean, they're one of the first people to really do it. And that first movie that they did, a lot of that stuff is pretty much, if you read the reports that they made about it, there was crazy things that happened at that house, and people still go to that house. I'm pretty sure you could still go investigate it. I don't know if the same family owns it or not.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if anything, if you want to learn a little bit more about them, I would definitely say if you got Discovery Plus, there's a Ed and Laura, if I can ever say her name, Lorraine Warren documentary that's on Discovery Plus. That's worth a watch. It's a good, quick, it's like hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour 15, something like that.
Yeah, they in them in the beginning of the new movie Conjuring, there was an exorcism scene that they do, and it's just triggered the memory as you were talking about Dane's story and stuff, and I was like, it was pretty wild to watch this all in the movie and stuff, of course, and just if it was anything remotely close to what was in the movie, that would have been some scary shit. But it was pretty wild. But again, like you're saying, it's also an entertainment thing. It's like these are there's something about that, but there's still. It's gets people excited or scared and everything else. It's a rush.
I'll tell you, if I ever see that, I'm gonna be like that SpongeBob meme where it's like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Again, yeah, some same way, man. You can find again Garrett talks to himself and sometimes other people. The podcast available wherever you're getting your podcast at, and you can hear more fun stories like paranormal things from all your favorite St. Louis celebrities and stuff. So, yeah, man. Talking about the record again, Franklin's Place. We wanted to share one more with you, and this one is more the jazzy side of that, and definitely a lot more jazz influence on it. But this is also features a lot more of the saxophone that we talked about, and again, help me with it.
It's a Maliosh.
Yeah.
It's I probably said that wrong. Maggie's probably going to hear this. That's not how you say it. But it's a form of it's Guatemalan basically for thank you.
Okay.
That's what it means.
All right. Yeah. And then And this, so tell me about recording. I mean, obviously you brought in a bunch of these guys, but did you where'd you end up recording all this at?
Bird Cloud Recording with Ryan Waspa. Big shout out to Ryan. He did a phenomenal job. He also mixed and mastered it. I was so happy with the sounds that he got with everything and his input into everything. And really, you know, like the Malyosh, that the take that you hear on there is literally the first time through that we played it. It was the first take of it. When we played it twice, and we took the first one. Well, we actually, technically, I guess we played it 3 times. The rehearsal one was the one that I wish we would have kept, because it was like, it was to the point where it's like, oh man, this really went some places. And then Ryan's like, oh, were we recording that? And it's like, well, we were just kind of rehearsing it, but man, I wish we would have recorded the first time, the actual first time. But Ryan, you know, go check him out. Go check out his stuff, like So Many Dynamos, or his 19-second songs, or his new TikTok, Ryan Waspa on TikTok, or just Bird Cloud Recording. He has so many great records that he's been a part of. Still one of my favorites still is this one by Moses called I'm pretty sure it's called The Baptist. Now I'm gonna make myself look like an idiot, but I'm pretty sure it's called the Baptist. Yeah. But man, he is just Ryan just does such a good job. Yeah. Just with everything. Yeah, it is The Baptist. I was right. So I really appreciate him doing it, and he's somebody I've known since I was 13, 14 years old, and really shaped how I listen to music and some of the music that I listen to, some of my taste in music. So it was really good. It was kind of, I had all my mentors pretty much play on it, besides Rick Hayden. Rick Hayden didn't play on it, unfortunately. But I was playing guitar. There was not enough room. No, but hopefully I'll get him on the next one. So you were and again going on about some of the storytelling and some of the podcast stuff with you. Garrett talks himself. Obviously, those are some of those that you haven't released many yet. Just you, but there was a couple I was going to. There's one that I still haven't debated. I'm debating if I'm ever going to release it or not. But I made. Well, I guess there's 2 of them. I made one about my Uncle Blake, who had passed away about 2 years ago, and I made another one about my Uncle Sam, who passed away 5 years ago. Actually, a couple of days ago, it was 5 years. And they were just very interesting people. They lived very interesting lives. And I wanted to kind of have like a recorded record of some of the times I had with them, and the times with my Uncle Blake, I had probably more times with my Uncle Blake. He was like kind of an older brother to me, because we weren't that much different in age by that much. I was like a little brother to him in a way, and he would take me everywhere. And there were so many shenanigans that we got into that, maybe one day I will release that one so people can hear them. But they're stories people have heard me tell before. Yeah. So I told you I had a crazy story that happened to me this week. This one's a doozy. This one was I guess almost like a life-changing story in a lot of ways. All right. I'm going to give you the short version, and then if anybody ever wants to ask me the long version, I'll tell them. But this short version is there was a very good friend of mine that I've known for a really long time through middle school and high school, and good portion of my life, that came over to our house, come to parties. Was good friends with my sister as well. And we were just real tight for a long time. I haven't really seen her too much in the past couple years, but I went over to my mom's house the other day to just see how she was doing and talk to my mom. And she goes, "Oh, hey, do you remember Jade?" It's like, "Yeah, my friend Jade." And my sister's name is also Jade. Just to clarify, Jade was friends with my sister Jade as well.
Oh.
This is where it gets a little confusing. But anyway, it turns out her grandfather was my mom's uncle. And he had died before my friend Jade, before her mom actually knew him, which is a whole crazy story how it happened. And so basically, through the 23andMe DNA stuff, my cousin found out that she has a relative nearby. Turns out it is my friend Jade that I've known all this time.
Right.
Is my second cousin. And it's just, my mom has known her mom for a while, and my grandma's met her, and good portion of my family. She's been to family events, birthdays, and parties and stuff like that. So I found it really weird that we're cousins, and she's been a part of the family this entire time, right. But they never knew.
Yeah. So it's like almost like she was family, but now it's official, right? So
yeah,
that's kind of
it's really wild. It was like it like blew my mind.
Yeah,
I just like, man, my mom's telling me this story because if I told the actual story, it'd probably take like 30 minutes to tell. But I'm like, why is she telling me all this backstory? Like, what is she trying to tell me? And she gets like, it's like, what does this have to do with her? Like, I don't understand. And then the further she goes on, I'm starting to realize, oh, we're related. That's what's going to happen, right? And then it just turned out to be that, it was like one of those just really weird moments that you don't always get that, you don't always find out that somebody that you were really good friends with was your cousin, you know? And probably the fact that you guys were really good friends were because you were cousins. Yeah.
Right. Maybe
or something crazy like that.
Maybe there's something else working, to bring you two together and stuff before, like kind of something like that. Like it's kind of weird to think about too. That like why you two were close and and then but I kind of had we never really never got to the point where we were related officially, but me and my buddy Nick were always kind of family friends kind of stuff, like as a growing up, me and of course his sister too, Sally, and stuff. Like it was just our parents went to high school together, and they remained friends, and then we used to vacation together and different stuff, kind of things, like just different stuff like that. We're always close as kids, and kind of faded for a minute just because we didn't see each other as often. But then but then our parents, my dad and my mom split in 2001, and then my dad started dating his mom. So then we started to then we all moved in together, and so it was like we were family now, like kind of thing.
That's crazy.
Their relationship didn't last, but it was for a while there. Me, my brother, and Nick all shared a bedroom and stuff, and it was a lot of fun to have another brother, but who was always there the whole time anyway. But now it's so it was a lot of fun, man. It was cool and we still remain. Yeah, he was in my wedding and everything. We obviously still very close, but it was just funny. So I used to. We're big fans of the movie Dirty Work.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, and there's a pretty classic part where you find out that Noel McDonald and Artie Lang are half brothers in the movie, and then when they find out, and they're like, so we used to do that line where people, because we looked a lot alike, so people would always be like, "You guys brothers?" And we're like, "No, it's a long story." And he goes, his dad boned my mom, and I'm like, okay, it's a short story. Anyways, it always cracked us up.
It's pretty good. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my. It's Chris Farley in that movie.
Sure.
Is so good. It's like,
the man with half a nose.
Yeah, and it's a king among the skunks or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he says.
Yeah,
but that and him in Almost Heroes is hilarious too.
All right.
When they go to that brothel and it's all hey people, they're like, hey, ladies of the night.
Yeah.
And then one of them catches on fire because the guy was smoking in bed.
Right. Yeah.
One of them has like a half-burnt hay lady in his arms, and he's like, "Why? I think she's gonna live. I think it's gonna be all right."
Yeah, that's such a ridiculous movie.
Yeah, there's some really good ones at that period of the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris Farley could do any wrong as far as comedy is concerned. You know? But,
I love Farley. Almost Heroes was one that a little more of an acquired taste for me. Like it took me at first because I'm real big on Tommy Boy. Like I watched Tommy Boy probably 100 times one summer or something, like because we had HBO and it was like always on year. And then like it was then my friends, like I think I got 2 copies on VHS for my birthday. Like that was that much kind of thing. So it was like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep were both heavy rotation, those that early or late 90s part of my life. And so when Almost Heroes came out, it was like it just didn't quite have the same feel at the first for me. Like when I was like, it's okay, but it's not that. It's not Tommy Boy, It's like so. Yeah. And there was something. There was such a great thing that between Farley and Spade playing. Farley being the character, and then Spade being just the straight man to letting Chris do what he does, and it just didn't have the same dynamic I felt with Matthew Perry playing that. It was like. But it's still, as I went back and revisited it, it's still like very funny.
Yeah,
like
there's that whole thing where he goes to get the egg.
Yeah,
and he goes,
sure.
He's fighting off that eagle.
Yeah, but it's just one of a kind. Though, man, I'm a big. I miss him so much. Sometimes, man, like I see certain things, and I'm like, man, that should have been Farley in that role or whatever it is. There's especially all those grown-ups movies and stuff. Like, Farley would have been a big part of those, and anyway. But yeah, it stinks. Like it's when we lose some of those greats so early.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But the same thing. Same thing with music, I think, too. Like, I feel like, I don't know, there's part of that I think is what makes them great in a sense. Like, like maybe they might not be as celebrated today if they weren't, if they maybe lived a full life or whatever. Yeah. Like, there's something special about what they created so fast, so early, and then gone. Like, it's remarkable to think about what Hendrix did in such a short amount of time, and then and was gone, and stuff like that. Like it's just like so many stories like that. But it's just like, but would he have? I mean, obviously, it would have been great anyway. I believe, but had he maybe gone on to live until today or whatever, would he still be? Would it continue to be on that trajectory? Where it would still be putting out these incredible records and all this stuff, or whatever. But
it's wild to think about.
Yeah.
It's definitely wild to think about where that could have went. But at the same time, it's like, maybe it's good that we just have what we have of it, you know.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those the same I've talked about in the past too, about like even like some like Alice in Chains, like with Lane Staley, like you know, of course it was super sad that he's gone, but it's like, and you know, from the drugs and all that, but like, did the drugs help create what made that music so you know, great and stuff at the time? So I don't know, you know, you would like to think that they could have done it without it, but I feel like also that, you know, these probably helped inspire some of that too, though. And so
yeah, well, I mean, I think about, I've been on this I know it's not the most popular, but I've been on this Pantera kick lately.
hell yeah.
And hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, but you know, think about Dime and even Vinnie Paul, you know, it's kind of a shame that they're not, because those two together.
Sure.
I mean, I was listening to Great Southern Trendkill last night for a little bit. It's just I just listened through the whole album, and oh man,
I think it was
heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it was Phil's birthday the other day, yesterday. I think.
Oh really? I
was,
didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was like his 53rd birthday or something.
Huh. It's crazy. I mean, it's 25 years of Great Southern Trendkill. I mean, that was like 96. Yeah. So 25 years of that, and what a ridiculous record too.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably one of my favorites. That or Far Beyond Driven. Those two records definitely are something that I still go back and I listen to. Mm-hmm. Just the riffs. You can't deny those riffs. They're just so heavy. They're just like, they just hit you. It's like you get a punch in the gut.
Oh yeah.
Every time you hear it.
Yeah.
You know?
I was big on them for quite a while. I mean, I still love it, but you know, but I love that they can go super heavy, but then they can also do something like Cemetery Gates, you know, where it's like and has a softer side to it also. And
or even like, you know, and Great Southern Trendkill, that record, you know, they have like a Flood. It's pretty like, you know, more mellow sounding. Mm-hmm. It's not really a heavy song. I mean, it is a heavy song because it's like about a flood ending the world. But right. But there's, you know, with Drag the River, is not necessarily heavy in all the parts, but it's still pretty heavy song. It's a pretty heavy song.
Yeah, man.
But there's just there's a couple of them in there that. Yeah, I like how every record sounds different too. Right. Every record's like, it gets heavier and heavier until it's just like the last one is just, you know, it's like as heavy as they can go.
Yeah.
And then that's when everything implodes, unfortunately. But
yeah. I know Phil's still out there doing, he got the other project now. Was it the Illegals or something like that? Or what's
I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the band.
But with Phil's still, I haven't gone to see the show or anything, but I just would wonder if he does a lot of Pantera stuff or not, or if it's all different stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I can imagine. He probably does a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some of that stuff, like you would like to see them put something together with, you know, in his, you know, in Dime's memory or something like that, do another thing, but I don't, but then it's like, also it's like, how do you ever do it without him though, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, nobody really, I mean, there's a lot of people that sound like him now, but nobody really sounded like that guy.
Right.
When that was happening, you know.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of like grunge.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
They were like death to alternative music at that time, you know. So.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Crazy stuff.
Yep.
Well, hey, babe, is it cool if I forgot to just plug somebody real quick for that record?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before I forget, because I know I'm going to kick myself on the way home. But Chelsea Myers of Tiny Attic did the artwork that you see on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. and she did a phenomenal job. I definitely would say anybody that wants to check out more of her artwork, please do. And she's also a documentary filmmaker, and she does some great work. And there's stuff that you could see of hers out there on YouTube. She's doing something about subsistence farming right now, and she's just real great talent. And I actually have Adam Donald's doing some artwork too for when I put it on vinyl.
Yeah.
It's its own little thing. It's going to be a special little Franklin's Place release. It's got a picture of Franklin on it. So.
There you go. That's why I wanted to ask you too. But I was wondering about if it was going to be any kind of physical release or all digital, and then if you were going to do a proper release party in regards to it.
Yeah, I haven't decided about the release party yet. Getting all those guys together to do it is going to be the hard part.
Yeah.
So I haven't decided if I'm going to do it with them, not do it, or try to do it with a couple of them and try to get people to fill in. I really haven't decided what I'm going to do yet.
Yeah. But that'd be, I just think it'd be a really cool night to get together and play through the record and stuff. And
yeah, I would love to do that. I would definitely have to get another guitar player to play through all the record to have all those parts there.
Right.
There's definitely some things that you can't do at the same time. I guess if you have like a little looper or something.
Well, maybe Rick, right?
Yeah, I get Rick.
Maybe that's where Rick comes into play. With
Yeah, I have to like get him out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, be like, "What? I'm not." I'd do Rick's voice. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not going all that way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think if you book it, they'll come. I think.
Yeah.
Like Wayne's will.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, that's a little bit more in the future,
right?
You know? So, yeah, just kind of waiting for Nick's record to come out too, and that tour, and you know, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening right now for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm just excited. Like,
I appreciate
so much cool stuff happening. It's fun to see my friends doing great things. And live music coming back and everything. Feeling like getting back to my old ways. You know, I was like the other night I went out I was at City Foundry on Wednesday, Thursday. I was supposed to go Friday, but I ended up not. That's when the storms kind of came in. Were coming in, and I was so I was. But anyway, I was supposed to be there 3 nights in a row. That Wednesday night I was in. Then I went to. It was Andy Frasco, and then I went to the Oyster Bar for the big after party with Sean Cannon's Voodoo Players, and partied till 3 a.m. down there. And I was like, man, I took off Thursday from work on purpose to before, you know, I was like, you know, have a because I knew I was gonna be out late, and but I'm like, I'm really glad I did, because I was paying for it Thursday. I was like, I'm a little out of practice shutting down the 3 a.m. bars, and you know, it used to be a pretty regular occurrence, but I'm about 18 months out of practice. So
gotta get back into training,
right? So it just but
in shape.
But it felt really good just to be down there and then in the you know, in a music venue again and being around people, and I was like, yes, this feels like home again. So. Yeah. I'm ready for a lot more of that. And,
I heard that.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see all the other great shows coming up. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man. Well, thanks, buddy. This was a lot of fun getting to catch up and getting to hang. And I'm excited to, again, like I said, with you got your Franklin's Place, wherever you're getting your music at. You got the podcast, wherever you're getting your podcast at. Garrett talks to himself. And you know, we got that new Nick Gusman record on the way. We got a lot of things cooking. So, so get involved. You can, what's a good way? We got the show has official Instagram now, right?
Yeah.
For Garrett Talks to Himself.
Yeah, Garrett Talks to Himself, and I can give you the tag.
Yeah.
And, you know, thanks again for just, you know, having me on and let me talk about some of this stuff, because, you know, it's not a whole lot of times I get to talk about this stuff and kind of go into like why I wrote it, you know. So I really appreciate you having me on and kind of discussing some of that. And,
Absolutely, man.
And just, you know, BSing and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you want to find Garrett Talks to Himself and sometimes other people, it's got a weird kind of tag on, I guess that's what you call it on Instagram. It's GTTH and then that little dash that's on the bottom.
Underscore,
yeah. STL.
All right.
Yeah, so GTTH_STL.
And then you also can follow the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So get plugged in with the show and we'll yeah, man. I appreciate you doing this, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.